All right, so Psalm 137:9 is a seemingly distressing verse to many, and understandably, I get it, all right? Let's read it and then try to unpack it, all right? So it reads, "Blessed shall he be who takes your little ones and dashes them against the rock." Well, I can understand why it's distressing, why it's like, okay, what's going on in this verse? Why is he saying this? So let's really look into the context here, because a lot of people will quote this verse and say, oh, well, look, your book is saying blessed is the one who takes the little one and dashes them against a rock. No, that's not what this is saying. That's not at all what the verse is trying to say. And this is what happens when you ignore context. This is what happens when you don't actually critically think, when you don't actually look into the context of what you're reading and you just pull things and cherry pick. Now, the context of this entire psalm is it is a lament of the Israelites during the Babylon exile. So it's expressing a lot of grief and a lot of other emotions after Jerusalem was destroyed and their people were taken captive. Now, it's important to keep in mind that this psalm isn't a command. This psalm isn't commanding anything at all. It's reflecting true human emotion in the midst of this exile. One of the key verses, let's look at Psalm 137:1. By the waters of Babylon, there we sat down and wept when we remembered Zion. And then move on over to verse 7. Remember, O Lord, against the Edomites, the day of Jerusalem, how they said, lay it bare, down to its foundations. So in this entire psalm here, it's crying out to God for vengeance. So the psalmist here is crying out to God for justice on what had happened to them. The psalm is nowhere commanding, do this or do that. It's a cry for vengeance against Babylon, because Babylon had brutally destroyed Jerusalem. I mean, brutally. They were infamous for slaughtering babies during their invasions. You can see it in 2 Kings 8:12, Isaiah 13:16. So the psalmist here is mirroring the terror that they had experienced and crying out for vengeance. It's better understood as poetic justice, right? Babylon will reap what they have sown. So again, let's look at this entire chapter here. It is a poem. It is not a command. It expresses true and real human grief, okay? Scripture does that. God allows the raw grief and anger of his people to be recorded in Scripture. We see this everywhere throughout Scripture. So the Bible is honest about the human condition, okay? It's not going to water that down by any means, all right? But what it will do is highlight our need for Jesus. So I hope that you guys will put that into consideration and trust in Jesus if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and God bless.